Hey everybody, welcome again to the Center Lane. My name's John. Welcome. It's a discussion for those of you that are new. For the people that are in the middle, we'd like some consensus from our politicians. Not too hard to the left, not too hard to the right. Try to find some consensus. That'd be nice, right? Today we're going to talk about the debate last night, or as I would call it, the race for second place, the silver medalist. I mean, Trump is way, way ahead. We already know this. But they had the debates last night, and it was interesting. I will say this, a little bit out of control. They got to come up with a better format as far as I know. There's 7 people on there. Everybody wants to talk, but they were talking over each other a lot. It was really kind of frustrating. You couldn't understand what half the time what anybody was saying. Kind of blame that on the moderators. I also blame that on the fact that they didn't have like a topic and stick to it so everybody could answer it. They did it a little differently, or a lot differently, where they asked each person a separate question. So if one person got a question and pertains to education and 4 of the candidates wanted to chime in, they weren't given the opportunity. So what they do, they just try to talk over them. And it just kind of turned into a cluster, to be honest with you. There was some good moments in there where you could understand, and there was some good back and forth, but a lot of it was just like, oh my God, come on, man, who thought of this deal? So, anywho, another interesting thing about debates too, on that debate last night was I learned that after the first 19 minutes, 80% of the people who started watching it turned it off. So what on with that tells you, a lot of people just they'll read about the next day, look for highlights on YouTube's, etc., things like that. And it's probably what happened with some people, but I think that, again, I hate to go back to it, but, it's a race for second place, and Trump is just so far ahead. And honestly, he was smart not to go there last night. I don't know how that would have helped him. They're going to do another one in November. Let's see what happens. Maybe it'll get to where there's more interest. But with him not being there, I think he should be there. But with him not being there, it's really a smart play because it kind of minimizes what they're doing. And it almost becomes an afterthought in a way. So to a lot of people, so the polls are showing that maybe those things will change. It's just we're going in October now, so they're going to be voting in 3 months, the primary. So here it comes. Anyways, how did the people do that were there? I did watch it, and what did I think about each candidate? I'll just go through each one rather quickly. The guy from North Dakota, Governor Burgum. That's the first time I actually heard him speak. He's very smart, He's got some really hard right things on abortion stuff, which would probably really hurt him in the general. But the guy is very knowledgeable, and he's a businessman. So, I like businessmen versus career politicians who've never had to make payroll before. Bergen's a guy that, I don't think he's going to catch fire. It's probably too late for him. And he's not the most dynamic guy, but if you really listen to him, the guy's really smart. I think he's showed that he's extremely knowledgeable about how things work, the system, the government works, and how business works, which is kind of what drives our economy. So that was Burgum. Christie, he was actually pretty good last night. He got a few good ones in there. I mean, he would make a decent president, I think. I just don't think that he's so hated by the Trumpers. I just think it'd be really hard for him to actually get a consensus amongst Republicans where he could win the nomination. I like him. He's interesting. He seems pretty fair-minded. But I question why he's in the race sometimes, because I don't think he has a shot of winning. I'm sorry to say. Haley, again, she did good. I'll tell you what, man, she's a firecracker. She comes prepared, and she's really, I think she just put another, a leg up to the rest of those guys in a lot of ways. She really showed out last night. She got Vivek Ramaswamy really good too with the, every time I listen to you, I feel a little bit stupider. That was a great line. I don't think she had that one ready. She just said it because she's just very passionate. I think if I was going to pick a winner last night, who did the best, like I said, half of it was a free-for-all, and you couldn't tell who was saying what. But I think someone that stood out to me was her. I think that's 2 in a row now for her, and that can't hurt her. But then again, how far is she going to go with Trump? I mean, with being there, she's going to be up to 10% instead of 8% or whatever. Trump's at over 50, 60%. They're combined. If everybody dropped out as a 2-man race, like I know people like DeSantis. I'll get to him now, I guess, next. He thinks, well, if it's a 2-man race, I'll get everybody because all these people that are amongst us right now are going to come for me. That's not guaranteed at all. I can tell you right now, Ramaswamy's 10% or whatever it is going to go to Trump, And a lot of other people that are backing some of the other candidates up there are not going to go for DeSantis if he's the only other option. They'll go to Trump. So I think he's dreaming on that one. But anywho, it is what it is. So as far as DeSantis last night, he did okay. But you know what? His answers to me, I mean, I don't care for the guy. But I mentioned that on previous things. I'm a Floridian, and I have my issues with him here. And the home state, you know, it's kind of forgotten about us here. But in spite of that, take that out of the equation. His answers to me still feel very canned, and they're not truthful. They're not truthful. He didn't even know there was 2.5 million Floridians that were uninsured. You can tell that question they asked him last night. Did you know in your state you have the highest uninsured health insurance people in the country? And I don't think he had a clue. And his answer was ridiculous. It made no sense. And it was a bunch of, you know, jibbity-jabble. So again, I don't think he did that great. I mean, he was probably, I give him like, he was in the medium there. He didn't hurt himself too bad, probably, for the people that like him already, and he didn't gain any new people. That's how I'd rate him. Tim Scott, good. He came out, he was good, man. He showed the fire last night. I thought he was decent. I think if he would have, you know, came out in the first debate and got himself out there a little bit, he's pretty strong. He had conviction. Again, he got in with Vivek. He got into Vivek really well. He got him too. Vivek took some fire last night, boy. He took some fire. And Scott gave it to him. He gave it to him on the chin. And so I think Tim Scott helped himself last night for sure. Then I talked about Vivek already a little bit. But I mean, as far as what he has to say, again, he's just, I just don't get him. But he's got people that like him. He has good energy, but the stuff he's coming up with is just nuts. And then now he's been tied to, and his business is tied with China. That's a kiss of death with the Republicans, because some of his businesses, they got Hunter Biden's name thrown in there. People that he's done business with are working with Hunter Biden. I mean, it's a whole thing. If you haven't seen it, look on YouTube and check it out. But he's got his feet to the fire in that whole thing. How he's, you know, it's coming to the light how this guy made his money. Which, if you know anything or if you looked anything into this guy, the way he made his money is sketchy for sure. I mean, he's a pump and dump guy. In other words, he's buying companies in trouble. He pumps up the stock price and he dumps them and moves on to the next one. The one that's getting the most heat now is that Alzheimer drug that he bought that company, which actually for Social Security, or I'm sorry, for Medicare, they were charging everybody $10 extra a month for this new Alzheimer drug that he was part of, you know, his company. And what happened was that they found out that it didn't work at all. And of course, he made it in a way that he was able to, before the final trials came out, he was able to get that stock price up in an IPO, jacked it up, made about $200 million and dumped it all. And then they come to find out the drug was no good. Oh, by the way, his mother, who's a doctor, ran the clinical trials for the second set of, there's three, they usually do 3 trials, first, second, third. First one showed promise. Second one, his mother ran, showed great promise. Third one, before it went to market, found out it was a complete fraud. But he already made $200 million. So yeah, that's the kind of guy he is. You know, watch out for him. I'm sorry, but it's not too good. And last but not least, Mike Pence. You know, Mike Pence was Mike Pence last night. He really tried to get himself out there, but I just don't. He's really a throwback to like somebody from the 70s. He really is. Like, if you want to talk about the vintage type candidate, that's Mike Pence. You know, strong conservative, has his convictions. There's an audience for him. There's people that like him. I think he's an honorable person. I just don't think he's gonna go anywhere. He ain't got nothing going for him as far as making it. I think he's going to be dropping out, I think, probably after Iowa. So that's kind of like a real quick wrap up. I know it's not much I can say about it because, like I said, half it you couldn't even understand if you did watch. And if you didn't, then that's kind of what happened. I'm kind of filling you in. Well, there'll be a third one in November. Will Trump be there? I doubt it. You know, I doubt. They're going, oh, yeah, he's going to come now because he's going to know we're showing him, we're calling him out. I don't think he's going to show up. I think he's going after Biden. That's probably what he should be doing right now. I mean, he's trying to say, you know what? I'm already in. Now, that might insult certain people, but his followers, you know, there's a lot out there. So I don't think we're going to see him on a debate stage. Or maybe he will. I mean, if he does, he does. So that's it for that. But then last but not least, I just saw that DeSantis and Gavin Newsom, from the governor from California, are going to have a debate. I don't know why, in November, which seems kind of silly in a way. But I was just watching a little follow-up thing after the debate with Sean Hannity and Gavin Newsom, who were debating each other. a little bit and talking about how the debate went and what's coming up next. I'll tell you what, I enjoyed listening to those two guys debate more than I did any of the presidential candidates. They actually were quite good against one another, and it was kept with a certain amount of friendliness. It wasn't at each other's throats. Sean Hannity handled himself well, and so did Gavin Newsom. I was like, wow, I'd almost rather seen you guys have a debate, you know what I mean, than these presidential candidates. So whatever that's worth, right? Anyways, I hope if you didn't get a chance to see it, you should at least go look at the highlights, because, you know, you owe it to yourself, no matter if you're Republican, Democrat, or in the middle like me and us, hopefully. You should always, you know, at least give it a look, check out the highlights, you know, keep yourself informed. It's important. There's a lot of stuff going on that I learned. You know, some of the questions were things I didn't really know about myself. I didn't know there's that many uninsured people in Florida, for example, with health insurance. That was pretty alarming, actually. So things like that, it's good to educate yourself. I'm going to leave it there. If you like this, go ahead and put the like button. Remember, I got a novel I completed on there on my channel, Dick Nixon channel. It's called Bear. It's about a serial killer. Woo-hoo. Right. So check that out if you get a chance, if you'd like to. And anyways, I'll see you next time. Have a great day.